It's all yours, Dee Lauderdale.
It's all me. For once, the tables are turned. Are you a little nervous?
Yeah.
How many interviews have you ever done?
Not that many.
Not that many. Well, that makes sense.
Now, how many interviews have I done with people, me interviewing them?
Thousands and thousands and thousands. It's a little weird to be on this side of it, though, isn't it?
Well, we'll see. We're in very good surroundings here.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. Let me just put your mind at ease. This is not a...
Do I think I'm on a hot spot? Do I think I'm going to jail for saying something?
This is not a 60 minutes, you know, come out after you interview. Here's the big idea behind this whole podcast that I'm doing is I want to interview guys that grew up in the South and have been successful or have had interesting jobs. And right up front, the reason I wanted to interview you is you've been able to do something that most guys want to do. They just have not figured it out. And that is they discovered early on in life something they enjoyed doing, and they have figured out a way to make a living doing it. And just not many people have done that. And so that was the reason I thought, you know, Jamie would be a great one to start with because you have. You've discovered at some point, and we're going to get to this, I hope, when you discovered that you liked being on TV. Well, let's just start there. We'll start there. When did you discover you liked doing TV?
Well, I always liked television, but getting on TV and working in TV, when I was in junior college at Gadsden State, they said, Jamie, you got such a southern accent, you'll never get on TV. You know, and it was bad. New Hope, Fingers, you know, Fang, Saturday. You know, you never think about that. You never think you'll be. I grew up wanting to be a sports writer. That's what I wanted to do.
So sports writer is actually what you started off wanting to do.
That was what I wanted to do. I never had a desire to be. Back then, growing up in high school at New Hope or in school, everybody wanted to be a fireman, a mailman, or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wanted to be in TV or a writer, but I did because that's just, you know, I love sports. Joe Namath was my hero.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And then got into, my dad had a lawnmower shop. My brother still has it.
So your dad was a small businessman.
My dad had it after he got out the arsenal, and then my brother's had it since he was 12 years old. He'll be 60th birthday.
Wow, so third generation family business. So you grew up with a guy that had it on his own business.
Yeah, I had his own business. And my brother's put girls through college and his daughters through college and everything, running this business out of New Hope.
Yeah.
Still operational.
Yeah.
Only one there probably. But it's just, I couldn't do it. I couldn't change a spark plug. I had no desire to do any of that.
It just did not appeal to you on any level whatsoever.
Zero. And then got in broadcasting. I flunked out of junior college my first time at Sneed. Now, not many people can say that. If you flunked out of Sneed college.
You kind of have to work at that. You have to try to do that.
First day I ever spent the night away from home in college was in the dean's office the next day. Kept two girls out all night.
We saw a pattern beginning to emerge.
Long before Boaz was known as the outlet capital of the South, the city's so-called higher education outlet had already established itself, Sneed College. Today, Sneed College is known as Sneed State Junior College and is the oldest junior college in the state's junior college system. Sneed State is currently celebrating its 50th year as a junior college.
We're opening a museum this year. We hope to get it open in December or January to not only feature the history of Sneed but of this area, because it's hard to separate Sneed from the area. Our history is synonymous, I think.
Before Sneed College was a college, it was a high school, supported by the Methodist Church. 81-year-old Flossie Moore and 91-year-old George Cox were students here in those early days. Cox graduated in 1915 and has fond memories of his favorite spot, the girls' dorm.
Sneak over here a lot or what?
Well, no, I didn't sneak over here a lot, but I sneaked over here occasionally. And Ms. Mack ran us out pretty early in the evening, I know. And I remember one night.
The way Miss Moore tells it, Sneed in 1921 was, and still is, the place to be.
But I remember more vividly than anything that everybody was somebody over here, and it always has been.
Jamie, I would like to present you with this doctorate of sorghum sopping from Sneed State University, along with a jar of sorghum. This is only the third degree that's been presented in my 8 years here.
So why did I get one? I'm an outstanding person, or?
Probably.
Thank you. I also forgot to mention I am an alumni of Sneed State Junior College, though I wasn't here very long. That doesn't matter.
That does make a difference. If you attended, you're an alumnus.
Thank you. I attended a few classes. In Boaz, I'm your country rover, Jamie Cooper. Now, does this mean I'm available?
And I got to Gadsden, and loved it, broadcasting. It just made us, you know, it's easy.
Yeah.
Was in it, liked it. You know, first song, we had a radio station there on campus.
Yeah.
This is 1972. They just started the Eagles' "Take It Easy."
Yeah.
That was the first song I ever played.
Was it? And you still remember that to this day?
It just came out that summer. This was that fall.
But that you still remember 50 years later, the first song you ever played. That's kind of cool.
Well, it ain't been 50. It's been like 40-something, but.
No, 62's 50 plus years. Oh, you said 62. I thought you say 72.
72.
I keep thinking, I mean, you're a good bit older than I am.
I was 9 years old in 62.
You're beginning to get, you're a little older than me. I'm just trying to remember
I had to
that.
do that. But anyway, I thought if you've seen that Eagles thing, you know, it's obviously a
So
great
72,
video
the
thing.
first song you play is Take
It Easy.
Yeah.
It just come out. And, you know, started getting in television. They taught you the basics of broadcasting, to write and all that stuff. And you take all the other courses and did, you know, I still started working behind the scenes and finally got into TV. And then 31, you know, I just started interviewing people on Saturdays because they didn't do a newscast.
Okay.
And Adrian Gibson, everybody remembers Adrian, told me, he said, if you're going to interview people, God, you set it up on a tripod and I'd interview people. He said, wear a decent looking shirt. Because, you know, I'd just wear a t-shirt or whatever. He said, wear a decent, well, I said, okay, I'm going to get on TV. So I started wearing a shirt, you know, a collared shirt or whatever, just to interview people. Ronnie Flippo, ran into him at the Hall of Fame thing back in February over at the Shows Marriott.
Used to be congressman.
It was, but you know, Bud Kramer took his place.
Right.
And he was always a good interview on a Saturday for them to have on the Sunday newscast. Interviewed Governor Wallace. That didn't go too good, but made me look like a hero because I had the balls to ask him a couple of questions I wasn't supposed to.
All right. When did you interview Governor Wallace? Before the assassination attempt or after? Was he in the wheelchair?
Oh, he was in the wheelchair. Yeah, he had just gotten divorced from, I want to say, Lisa Marie.
Coralie.
Whatever her name was, Lisa something.
Coralie, yeah.
Young girl. And they said, do not ask him about his divorce. I said, okay. First question, asking myself, had a guy intern with me, asked him a question about soybeans or whatever he was addressing it. Then I said, what about your divorce? They jerked me literally out. Your TV station will never get another interview with the governor of Alabama. I was petrified. Petrified.
Why did you ask him? What was in you that wanted to ask that question? Just because they told you could?
Because that's what was in the news at the time.
Exactly. You said that's what everybody wants to hear.
What everybody wants to know.
So somehow instinctively you knew
to ask him
as a broadcaster, you needed to ask the questions that the normal person would have asked had they been there.
Well, nowadays it wasn't no big old deal, you know, a big deal to ask them.
Right.
Everybody's asking everything there is. But back then it was a different, you know, you're talking about late 70s.
It was very controlled.
Oh, yeah. You just
Everything
don't come
was
out
controlled.
and ask the governor about his divorce. But they ran it as the lead story on the news for like a week, making a fool of him basically for acting that way.
So was that kind of your big break, do you think?
It wasn't really
when your
big
name
break.
first started getting made?
I don't know if I really had a big break. The vice president of the TV station over there, Dan Whitsett's wife, was named Margaret Ann.
Okay.
She said, I started doing a few features every now and then. They would air them. She said, I like what he's doing.
Okay.
And that had a lot to do with it. Then I got to start doing more and more of it.
Were you conscious of what you were doing, or were you just being Jamie?
I ain't never been real conscious of what I was doing.
Really? There was never this grand plan?
No, there was a guy that used to work with me named Tony Beeson. Tony was a good-looking guy, anchored on weekends, filled in during the week, and did a few feature stories.
Okay.
When I first started at 31, I would go and film now, no video, nothing like that.
Real film, it's got to be processed, the whole 9 yards.
That was my job, processing the film, editing the film with hot splices and tape.
Wow.
And stuff like that.
So you got some skills.
People realize that nowadays you can take your cell phone and do a whole interview.
Yeah.
No, you had to lug 40, 50 pounds of equipment around back then and then get it back, get it processed, hope the film didn't break in the processor.
You didn't mess it up when you were cutting it and splicing it.
And splicing, hope it didn't break when it ran through the projectors live on the air. So that's the way we did some stuff. And when he left, I started doing a few of those stories.
Okay.
And they became pretty popular. And the ending, I would always try to do something different. You know, something a little funny at the end. Not in all stories because it doesn't warrant it, but in most of them I would do that.
So who would you say you had a mentor? Would you say it was that guy, or was it Adrian, or was it both of them?
Nah.
Or were you just figuring it out as you went along?
I figured it out as I went along. Tony
Because
Beeson kind of led me into doing feature stories.
Okay.
And have an eye of what to look for. I mean, I can drive down a road, you can ask Gloria this today, and spot a clothesline. Like the other day when we drove through Greenbrier, this clothesline was as long as the studio.
Yeah.
Full of clothes.
Yeah.
People don't realize what's on the side, what's in their, not neighborhood necessarily, but what's in within a 5 or 10 mile radius of where they live.
So where do you think that comes from? Is that just natural? Did you grow up seeing your parents do that and talk
No.
about it, or?
I don't think I learned anything from my parents.
As far as doing this business
As
goes?
far as doing TV, no.
Yeah.
They just, you know.
Did your dad ever say, son, you can't make a living in this TV thing.
No,
You need to get you a regular job, a good job with benefits, and make you a retirement and that kind of stuff?
No. My grandfather, though, and I may have told you this, but my grandfather, nicest, most honest man on earth. I was working at Educational TV before Channel 31 hired me. Brought home, I tell everybody this story, $283 a month. We got paid once a month. City of Huntsville owned it, still do.
Okay.
$283 a month. I got hired as a film editor.
All right.
And I told my grandfather 15 months later I was going to 31 for $2.50 an hour, which minimum wage was $2.35. My buddies were all making $5 an hour at TVA. He said, son, them people at ETV sure have been good to you. I sure hate for you to lose that job. I'm thinking, I got to go. But anyway, I made the step over there, and it was no big deal. And